21.4 Temperature. Temperature plays a huge part in the body and the performance of an athlete. In hot temperatures, athletes run in events like the Sahara Desert Desargues Marathon, which can get up to 40 degrees Celsius in heat. The average athlete that takes part in this has to drink about 80 litres a day in order to function properly, but many athletes drop out due to severe injuries. However, marathons can be done in cold temperatures, so in the North Pole, different athletes run in minus 30 degrees in order to test their ability. These athletes have to train differently to get used to the different climates they have, as they have different effects on the body. As the body gets hotter, the enzymes start to denature, which means they destroy their characteristics through heat. Heat and hot temperatures' effects on the body start off by the body sweating to try and cool down through evaporation. As the body gets hotter, sweating intensifies, and you start to go red and heart rate increases. Dehydration, fainting, and vomiting are all side effects of the body getting too hot. When the body reaches 42 to 43 degrees Celsius, the effects are a lot higher as you start to experience delirium and comatose brain damage and cardiorespiratory collapse. If the body reaches 44 degrees Celsius, the result is death. Dehydration occurs when the water output of the body exceeds the water input. A serious consequence of dehydration is the lowering of blood plasma levels in the blood plasma, as blood plasma is 90% water. This leads to an inadequate blood volume to maintain normal cardiovascular functions. With the blood becoming thicker due to dehydration, this puts extra strain on the cardiac muscle to move the blood around the body. And with the heart working harder, this can lead to cardiac issues in the heat. Short-term treatments for the heat include prevention of heat stress for people who work or are exposed to hot environments a lot is key, as heat stress can lead towards heat stroke, heat exhaustion, heat cramps, or heat rashes. Removing layers of clothing, as this lowers the amount of body heat trapped between yourself and your clothes, which keeps you warm. Hydration is another key way of keeping cool, as when you're hot, you lose a lot of water trying to cool down through sweating, so by replacing the water, it allows your body to cool down for longer if needed and prevents effects of dehydration. Drinking alcohol also keeps your body cool. It does this by making blood rush from the core of the body to fill the capillaries close to the skin. This makes the body feel hot. However, with the blood close to the skin surface, it can use convection to lose heat, causing it to lower your body heat. One effect that the cold can have on the human body is hypothermia. This occurs when your body loses heat faster than it can produce heat. The symptoms that can occur during hypothermia is intense shivering, numbness, discoloration to the skin, meaning it turns blue. There are 3 types of hypothermia: acute or immersion, which is rapid, which can occur, for example, when you jump into a frozen lake as your body goes into shock from the temperature change. Exhaustion is caused by exposure to cold in association with lack of food and exhaustion such that heat can no longer be generated. And chronic, which is slowly over time. This occurs when your body temperature drops over a period of time. Elderly people and babies have a harder time controlling their body temperature, for example. If out in a snowstorm, but not wearing suitable clothes, your body temperature will drop slowly. The body's hypothalamic thermostat acknowledges the decrease in temperature in the body. The peripheral thermoreceptors send the message to the cerebral cortex in the medulla oblongata. The body either has a voluntary response or an involuntary response. For the voluntary responses, the body chooses a variety of different things. Curl up into the fetal position, put more clothes on, eat more due to the food having energy and the energy producing heat. And on the other hand, the involuntary responses that occur are piloerection, which involves the hairs on the arm rising to collect the oxygen bubbles containing warmth. Thermoregulation is the process that allows your body to maintain its core internal temperature. Voluntary physical activity can increase metabolic heat production more than shivering. What we did to look at the effects of different temperatures on the body during exercise is we had 7 participants. All 7 sat in normal conditions for 10 minutes and then got on an exercise bike to get their heart rate up to 135 beats per minute and took note of the resistance needed to get their heart rate to this point. After this, 3 of the participants got into an ice bath and the other 4 wore an ice vest, and then got on the bike to get to the same power as normal to see whether the heart rate would be lower or higher from pre-cooling. The measures we took were the heart rate, the participants' rate of perceived exertion, which is how hard they think they're working, a thermal sensation score, which is how hot they feel, and we took the temperature from their ear and their forehead. As shown in the graphs, exercise after pre-cooling is clearly beneficial, as it lowers the heart rate of the performer, as well as lowering the amount of effort the participants say they have put in. To back this up, the heart rate of the participants without pre-cooling and with pre-cooling were put into a t-test where the results came back as 0.001, which shows there being a significant difference between the two, telling us it's very useful to do this before exercise. This also occurs with the rate of perceived exertion along with the participants' thermal sensation score, both with lower scores with pre-cooling than without, and having a t-test score of 0.006 and 0.01, which is lower than 0.05, this shows there's a significant difference between the two. Other than this, just looking at the graphs, it's easy to see that the pre-cooling stats are lower than the normal condition stats, showing us, even from first glance, that it's more beneficial to do so. In conclusion, when performing at different temperatures, you need to make sure you stay hydrated, wearing suitable clothing, whether that's enough layers in the cold or enough to prevent heat stroke in the heat, and eating enough for high levels of energy.